This is not your money. You're gonna dole out our money to us in dribs and drabs over the next 6 months. I said, you, man, I'll bring you down.
That is artist manager Ron Stone talking about the bad news at PledgeMusic. I promise you, there is good news and it will warm your heart. Stay tuned. That is the perfect disguise.
I'm in the witness protection program, so I have to wear this.
Welcome to Toronto Song Project. I'm Steve. Okay, the bad news first. Pledge owes a lot of money to a lot of artists, and it looks like they don't have it. They suspended all their crowdfunding campaigns while they figure this mess out. For those of you who don't know, PledgeMusic is like Kickstarter for artists and bands. The great thing about it, it's fan-driven. Big artists and small artists can grow their fan base and raise money for their albums, their tours, directly from their fans. From the money they raise, Pledge keeps about 15%, which isn't a bad deal.
No, I've been using them for years. It's a great tool.
That's Ron Stone, my friend and former boss. Ron is something of a legend in the music business. He's been managing artists since the early days. Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, the Eagles, Bob Dylan, Devo, that's just to name a few. He and a lot of his artists really took to PledgeMusic, and for good reason.
The premise, the central theme of Pledge is to pre-sell your album, to get your audience to contribute to the making of the record. Mm-hmm. And engage them in the process. And they get an advance copy or they get a copy of the record when it comes out and the artist may sign it. The fans love it because they're part of the process.
Probably the best thing that PledgeMusic does is it cuts out the record company and lets small to medium-sized acts connect directly with their fans. Now, while an artist might not sell as many records as they would through a record company, they make more money on each sale and they get to own their music.
At the end of the day, you still end up with close to $3 or $4 a record, whereas with the record company, make half. And they own it, which is the craziest thing in the world. So, Rickie did, 50,000 records worldwide. She made twice as much money as she would have if she sold 100,000 at a record company. When it functioned, it was valuable and useful and was terrific for the artist.
Okay, here's where PledgeMusic went so wrong.
But what they did was they put all the money in one account. What they were supposed to do was create a fiduciary account that held the artist's money separate from theirs. They were taking their operating budget for salaries and overhead and rent and whatever other expenses. They were taking it out of a general account and not holding the artist's money as the artist's money. They saw it as their money.
Ron currently works for Fastball. They were one of the first bands to get the bad news from Pledge.
Fastball fulfills their pledges. They send out all the CDs and all the vinyl thing, and now they want their money. And the Pledge people say, oh, well, we don't have it. We'll have to pay you off over the next 6 or 8 months. Will you take $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month for the next 10 months? And I said, I'm going to sue you asses. And we want all of it now. This is not your money. You're gonna dole out our money to us in dribs and drabs over the next 6 months. I said, you, man, I'll bring you down,
As you can see, Ron came down really hard on Pledge and it paid off. A few days later, they came through with about $10,000. That's about half of what they owed Fastball.
But you have to understand that Fastball and all the artists in that kind of, financial position, they went out and bought those CDs and the vinyl and the T-shirts and sent them out to those fans. So they spent $10,000 or $12,000 to get back 20 or 25, and then they didn't get back anything.
Yeah.
So they're out of pocket all this money, and they can't get their own money.
And what do we call that?
It's called stealing.
Yep.
And it's against the law, and we can have them prosecuted. We can bankrupt the company, and we could pretty much get all the people that worked there before. We would then be financially responsible to put that money back.
So it seems like a clear-cut case of right versus wrong. So let's just sue and get our money, right?
But it would take 3-4 years to take them all to court. So it's in our interest to kind of work out something.
Are you optimistic?
Yeah, I guess. If there was a lawsuit, and even though it would take 3-4 years, they would lose, and they would be subjected to criminal liability, because the second thing after they go bankrupt is we go to the district attorney and say, these stole our money. And then they have criminal liability. So if in fact shit hits the fan, we will go after all of them personally. And I'm a vindictive mother. If these don't pay this money back, I will make sure their company goes out of business, and I will try and get them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And their lives will turn to right away.
With everything you've seen in the music business, 50 years in the music business?
47.
Okay, where does this scandal rank?
Well, keep in mind that the business model for the music industry starting in the 50s was to rape and pillage the artist. Okay? And that has not changed.
Do you think Pledge intentionally did this?
Yes. These are your two choices. You're either an idiot or a thief. Which one do you think they are?
Well, when PledgeMusic came along and you started to work with that model, you probably thought, wow, this is finally something that doesn't screw the artist.
Yes. And guess what? In a long, long tradition of artists, one more player, the artist.
Okay, so I promised you good news. Here it is.
I've lost 20 pounds in the past 7 months. See here.
Look at that.
No bread, no pasta,
Yeah.
no potatoes, and no rice.
Hey, that's no small thing. Ron loves bread. Also, whatever happens to Pledge is a bump in the road. The good news is more and more artists can cut out the middleman and go straight to the fans. And most importantly, avoid the onerous deals that are standard in the music industry. Or, as Ron puts it,
Pledge is a small timer. Record companies are just thieves on a giant proportion.
I'm gonna keep on top of the PledgeMusic story. I hope you got something out of this video. Have you sent money to PledgeMusic? Are you a band or an artist who's dealt with Pledge? Tell me about it in the comments section, and maybe I'll put you on the show. Please subscribe. And thank you, Ron Stone. I got some fresh baked bread coming up, so I'm gonna go eat that. If I was a band, I would want you in my corner. This is for you. Oh my God, look at that. It's so hot. Butter just melts. Oh, am I in heaven? Ron, we totally need to hang out. There's a cafe, bakery. Oh, darn, you don't eat bread. Oh my gosh, you are missing out. Delicious bread.